there.
His ankle?
You broke your ankle?
Mhm.
How'd you do that?
Because I was doing the relay race and then at the last cone, my ankle just like turned like that way and then it like
I think I'm gonna see you in a few weeks. I'm gonna come visit. And I heard I'm sleeping with you. Am I sleeping in your room? Look at Nicole's house. It's beautiful. She's got a center fireplace. I wish you could see her kitchen. Yeah, I was gonna unblur the background. How do you do that?
I sleep in my room.
That, video, go to video.
Aren't you gonna let me sleep in your room? I think you should.
But tonight I'm going in the cot bed.
Well,
Make
mommy
sure-
looks pretty this morning.
Oh my goodness, thanks. I just didn't really do much actually. But
Well,
thanks.
that's because you're gorgeous.
Natural beauty. Just natural.
It is natural. Oh my God, I just saw myself over on Sarah's computer next to me. It scared the hell out of me. All right, before I let people in, I want you to see her gorgeous kitchen.
Oh my. That is
She-
gorgeous.
She
Oh my
saw
God.
it in a magazine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
Thank
It's
you.
unbelievable.
Thank you. We worked really hard for this one, sister.
Good for you. Making dreams come true.
That's right.
Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna start letting people in.
Okay, I'm just gonna make coffee.
Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning for everybody jumping on.
Does Gene Frederick know about this?
Yeah, he does. He better. Should I text him?
Is Ashley on?
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, good morning. I'm in Kentucky.
You're good. Oh, you are fun. You should have told us. We could have had a road trip.
Come on. Oh, you still
I
got a day. Yeah, I'm sending a text to Gene reminding him to hopefully please. But you know, it's kind of like whatever. If he comes, he comes.
Well, if Nicole is on the call, Nicole will text him.
I just texted him too. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So how's everybody doing? To me, I love that you get up this early in the morning. Thank you so much.
Samia,
Evelyn's on there.
hi Samia.
Hi, Nicole.
Oh, did I say it wrong again?
What'd you say?
I don't remember.
She said Samia.
It's
No.
Sammy.
Samia.
I just gotta call her Sammy. It's-
Nope. Nope. You'll not get an answer.
Oh, okay. I won't then.
That's my son's name.
Is it
And my
your son's
dad's name.
name? Wow. I gotta make Ashley co-host on this. Phil's here. We got a lot of people coming on today. We got lots of people coming on today.
Well, you have Nicole on the call.
I'm sure it was
Yeah,
me.
I
that y'all walked in for.
Well, I would come for you
Oh my
regardless of your father. I'm sorry, and regardless of Jean.
And gee, I would hope people would come just to show up here. I mean, it is a good group.
It is a good group.
It's a real
We
good
come for
group.
Peggy and Ashley.
Exactly.
Hi, Ash.
Hey, oh my God, Eugene's here. Gene, I haven't seen you in so long up there.
Oh,
How you doing, everybody?
I'm gonna sign out on my.
I'm having breakfast.
There's a couple of people having breakfast. I'm gonna share this.
I'm gonna scoot over here. so
She
I
can scoot
say-
over because I'm actually in,
Oh,
I'm
look at
in
you.
Kentucky. Yeah, with Sarah in Kentucky. We're having our own retreat here.
You're going to the meeting with Sarah later?
Which meeting is
Which meeting is that?
Which one?
Oh, I'm sorry. Who is it that leaves for their state meeting?
Holly.
Holly
Holly.
does. Yeah, Holly does. Okay, Gene jumped on. He's
Here.
getting on audio here. All
Oh,
right,
there is Gino.
it's the top of the hour here. Let's get this started. Wow. Hi, Gene.
Unmute yourself.
I like it when I'm silent. I
Uh-huh.
like it when I'm silent.
I think Susan might have something to say about that too.
Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true.
Wow, we got a
Thank
lot
you.
of great people. Look at this, Gene. I love your background. You're outside.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna let Ashley admit everybody since she's co-host. How you doing, Ash?
I'm good.
Good. So, oh, isn't it Andrew's birthday?
It is.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we're all gonna have to wish him happy birthday.
Are we singing?
And
Are we singing?
I don't know, you can sing. We'll wait till he gets on and see.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let's sing happy birthday to him.
Andrew, you got to get on and show your pretty face here.
I'm on.
Oh, you are. Good
Yeah, I'm
morning. Is it your birthday?
It is. I'm 35.
Woo!
Woo-hoo!
Wow. So old.
I know.
Proud
That makes
mom.
me feel really old.
I was gonna say you're a proud mama up there. So, anyways, happy birthday, Andrew. Thank you for
Thank you.
spending the first day of 35 with us. That's
Thank you.
boy, I don't know if this is the start of the rest of your 35th year. I hope it's exciting. Okay. I am in Kentucky, which I'm super excited. Jean, Sarah, and her husband did not get the memo about me staying over. So this is the second time I'm here.
Fair warning, Sarah, she might not leave. It's what happened to Jean and Susan.
We might demote her from the guest suite to the basement suite.
And with Peggy, it's always, where's Waldo? Where is she?
Yeah.
But no, we're doing a lot of fun things. So welcome everybody. Good morning. I am
Look at
super.
Dawn working out.
Oh man, look at Don. Woo! He's bringing a lot of energy to this.
We already got our walk in.
I did a Kentucky walk this morning. But anyways, good morning. And Sarah asked me what was I going to say today, because this is huge. This is 2 years. And obviously there are some people that I need to thank. And Jean and Kathy, I went to them with this idea, and then they said, okay, try it. And I called Ashley and I said, guess what? We're going to be doing this thing on Wednesday mornings, and I can't do it without you. And she was like, you're crazy. And when I started it, I was on the East Coast. So it was 9 o'clock in the morning for me. And then when I moved back to the West Coast, I was kind of like, okay, I committed to this. I got to get up no matter what. But I wanted to say how much gratitude I have, because this is an amazing community. And there are people that have been on this call for 2 years now, almost every single week. And when we talk, that's over 100 episodes, you guys. And when we talk about community and culture, this is what we're talking about. You know, anybody can say whatever they want about virtual companies, and the dog is chiming in on this. Anyone can say whatever they want about virtual companies, but this is a testimonial to what we can do. Think about this. We've had 2 retreats from this group. We have created community. We have created unbelievable bonds in friendship and honesty. And I don't know, just so much has come out of this. And it's just gratitude, because I do this every morning, every Wednesday morning. I want you guys to know what I have gotten out of this. I mean, when you look back at 2 years, you gave me the courage and the strength to do this from the ICU. after brain surgery. You guys gave me the courage and the strength to go talk to my brother after I hadn't talked to him in years, because I needed to be authentic with every one of you, because we all were going through family issues and things like that. So I want to say a huge thank you and gratitude for our group and our community, because every single one of you touches me on a weekly basis. And I know we touch each other. So I want to hear from people that are on here. I got Phil on here this morning. I've got, gratitude. Tucker's doing a gratitude journal. But Jean and Nicole have been my rocks for so long. They knew me when, and Ashley has been there for me. And I really want to acknowledge you guys for what you do and how you fill my bucket every single day. And thank you for giving me this platform that we could bring such an amazing community around the world together. So with that, Jean and Nicole and anybody else who wants to chime in, I'll start crying.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, we want to thank you. There's a great idea. As you guys know, I'm going to start with this, and I'll let Nicole go in a little bit. But what's your story? Let me start by this. It's funny. Just in the last couple of years, look at what Peggy's gone through. Oh, just a little brain surgery. Just a brother that she was, not close to pass away. I'm going to tell you a story really quick. When I was 13 years old, now you guys got to understand, I'm sorry, Andrew, you're only 35. Your mom might remember this, but you might not. In the 60s, we had newspapers. Do you guys remember newspapers? They were the thing that came in the morning on your front door. You guys have seen the movies, Andrew. You've seen the movies of them throwing newspapers. At 13 years old, I woke up every single day and I opened the newspaper in the summer to do what? I wanted to see if Willie Mays hit a home run. I could care less if the San Francisco Giants won. I could care less. If Willie hit a home run, Gene was a great 13-year-old, and he was my hero. So in the summer, when I was 12 years old, 1967, my buddy Paul Olson and I, again, something you young guys won't understand, there used to be a thing called a long-distance phone call. When you made a call from your home to another home, it was long distance. There was no cell phones. It actually cost a lot of money. So what did Paul and I decide to do in the summer of 67? Call our hero. We're going to call Willie Mays. And Paul goes, yeah, let's call Willie. Where's he playing? The San Francisco Giants were playing the Chicago Cubs in Chicago. So what did we do? We started calling hotels in Chicago to find out where the San Francisco Giants were staying. Now you can understand, this is expensive. Our parents did not know it. They still don't know. They still don't know we did this, Tucker. So we call Willie. Guess what happens? We literally find the hotel that the Giants are staying at. We're 12 years old, 13. Our voices have not changed. You got to understand. We're still talking like this. We're still talking like Michael Jackson. And we call it, hey, is Willie there? They go, just a second. They go to his room. A gentleman answers, hello? We go, Willie. You go, no, this is Bobby. That was Bobby Bonds. Willie Mays' roommate was Bobby Bonds, Barry Bonds' dad. Wow. He goes, no, just a second, hold on. And he holds the phone to Willie Mays, and we go, Willie, you don't understand. We're your best fans. Oh my God, we're from Phoenix, Arizona. We love you. Yeah. And we talked to our hero for 3 minutes.
Wow.
Now, just so you know, Willie Mays passed away yesterday.
Yeah.
93.
That's part of my life. That's part of my story.
Yeah.
That will live with me forever. Just so you know, what's your story? What's your life? Are you creating your own life? You're going to build whatever age you're at now. Doesn't really matter, quite honestly. I'll tell you another quick story. I met Jewel. Do you guys know the singer Jewel?
Yeah.
You guys, if you don't know who Jewel is, I was at a charity event at Necker Island. Anyway, she's sitting across from me on a boat. I don't know Jewel from Adam. She's a very nice person. We're just talking. And there was a groupie right next to her. When I say groupie, that knew all her songs and said, Jewel, oh my gosh, yeah, I love this song. I love this song. I saw you in this video, blah, blah, blah. And she's talking to him, not to me. And I'm just sitting across from her. And the groupie goes, what's your favorite song? What's your favorite song? Guess what she said? The one I'm working on now.
Wow. Cool.
So my stories lived a long life. I remember my Willie Mays story. What's going to be my next story? I get to build that. I get to build it. You guys get to build your own story. Eugene, I love Eugene Crockett because he's got my name. Eugene Crockett and I go way back. But here's the thing. You envision your life from here forward. Your best song is the one you haven't wrote yet.
Wow.
Completely agree.
Okay? Right, Tucker? The best song, I am so excited about this year. I love down markets. I love down markets. I'm telling you why I love down markets, because nobody wants to work as hard as you guys. Nobody wants to work as hard as me. I can remember, I still talk about it. When I started at EXP with Nicole, Elizabeth Riley, the gang in Austin, Jill Liebernight, everybody, we started from scratch. And then 8 months later, working our tail off. 8 months later, I meet, Rob Flick and the Lewises and Pat Hayes. 8 months later, and then they start working with me. And you know what I told them after working with them for 6 or 8 months? I love working with you guys. I've never worked with people that work as hard as I do. Never. Everybody always goes, well, how have you been so successful? I don't even know if I'm successful. I know I'm successful because I'm married to Susan Frederick. And that's the only success I care about, and Nicole and all the grandkids. That's my success as far as I'm concerned. That means I'm living a good life. I'm doing what I should be doing. I'm telling the truth as much as possible as I can. I'm truthful in my life. Saying that, I'm just trying to get better every single day. And I'm really excited about the future. I don't really care about the past. I care about the future. I want you guys to write your own story. I want you to write down today, what are your goals for the next 6 months, next month, next week, next day? That's your future. And then you go, hey, someday I'm going to live here. I'm going to make a vision board. Someday I'm going to have this. It doesn't really matter. It's not the things, because it's the journey. The journey is your story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, guess who texted me last night? Paul Olson, my best friend from high school. Oh my God, Willie passed. I said, dude, we talked to him. Are you kidding? He's been part of our lives, me and Paul, since 1967. Who's going to be the next chapter of your life? Who's in your life for the next? Go find them. Go say, I want to be close to that person. I guarantee you, if you wrote it down and you said it's going to be part of my story, it will be. It's that simple in life. And you go, boom. All the friends I have now in the 9 years since I've been with EXP are totally different than the friends I had at KW. Just going to tell you, sorry. These are all new friends. Sorry, Sammy. Sammy and I were good friends back at KW, but I'm saying if they're not in my world now, they're just not in my world. I'm going forward. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope
We're
that
not
helps.
friends anymore, Gene?
We're friends again. We're friends
Oh,
again, but we've
okay.
reconnected. I'm friends with Tom. That's what I'm friends with. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
he just left.
Love you guys. I love you guys. But hey, I'll tell you one last story. When I say one last story, it's my life. 3.5 years ago, I bought a golf simulator, and I said, dang it, I'm tired of being bad at golf. When I say bad, I'm okay, but I'm shooting in my 90s, shooting in the 90s, close to 100. I want to get good. I want to get good at golf. 3.5 years I've been with that simulator. The best thing is my wife Susan got on the simulator and found out she could hit a golf ball. And she's played golf with for the last 3.5 years. She shot an 84 the other day, gentlemen, you golfers.
Woohoo!
Susan shot an 84. So I'm now playing the best golf of my life at this age, at this stage of my life. I'm down to a 7.3, Tucker.
Wow.
7.3, which is awesome. I shot a 76 yesterday. When I say that, but I made a decision. I really want to do that. I really want to get good at that. Are you really good at lead generation? I mean, are you really, really good at lead generation?
Yep.
Or can you make changes the next 6 months to say, look, I'm going to get better at lead generation. I'm going to go do this and I'm going to nail it. I'm going to farm that area. Believe me, those 250 homes, 500 homes are going to know my name, because by the end of this year, I'm going to dominate that farm area. When you make that decision, you do it. Same thing with anything. And I'm really proud of myself playing this good golf. By the way, I didn't know if I could do it. But the bottom line is, are you going to try? Try it and adjust your business the next 6 months. Don't get worried about what happened this first 6 months of the year. Scrap it. Go forward. There you go, Nicole. I set you up for awesome stuff.
I think, well, how do I follow that? You met Willie. Like, what am I doing? But I will say thank you for just always, and this is maybe in the spirit of Father's Day too, just setting that kind of example to be so enthusiastic about the journey and the future, because it's really just given me the best lesson in life. And one of the things that I'll always remember is just watching, and he's not just talking. You guys know he's the real deal. Like, hold on, like, hold on real quick. From the very beginning. Okay, that's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hold on. You guys
Lincoln
can,
Apollo.
this early morning call is not normal business hours for me. It's family hours. But anyway, hold on real quick. Yes, go. So I have to say yes to him wanting candy because I have to talk on the Zoom right now. So,
Oh, I'm gonna get blamed for this.
Anyway, he thinks he ate fruit, so now he gets candy. So what I was saying though is, I just remember from an early age when you were with Keller Williams, you'd walk in the door and you were obsessed with the numbers. I just remember thinking, he's not putting it down. It's like it's dinner time and he's still mulling over how many appointments he had that day, and he has his chart. And then when you guys built the house in Austin, I mean, I remember going out to the wooded area where the house was, and he was so excited about telling me where everything was. Like, this is going to be where this is, and this is going to be where the putting green is. And he got so involved with that process, excitedly involved with that process at our lake house. He drew the dock, like I'm telling you guys, 50 million times. 50 million times he drew the dock, and then just got obsessed with that process, and he was excited about it. And then EXP comes along, and that I was like, whatever he's putting down on paper, I'm in. I've seen him do it over and over and over, and we're gonna get excited about EXP, and it's gonna happen. And look what happened. And then all the way up until his yacht, the vision board planning that he has. But once he gets done with one thing, it's like, okay, on to the next thing. He doesn't like sit in that and relish in that moment too long. He enjoys it, don't get me wrong. But then it's like, what's the next thing? So a couple of weeks ago when they were out here, I was like, let's see if I can do this. Jean, let's go look at Trey's pool over next door at the lake house.
Oh, girl. I sent him a text.
And I was like, all I got to do is get him excited. All I got to do is get him excited. Oh yeah, you were there. And lo and behold, now we're building a pool at the lake. Like, so I just kind of, I don't know, buddy. So I just kind of want to say that what a great leader and lesson that we can all dream of something in our lives right now that we can put into action to get whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be big, but the small things lead to big things, And I think it's just a mindset thing. I know, it's right here, look. And so
Lincoln can say hi if he
you want
wants
to
to.
say hi? You
Yeah,
wanna
say hi to Grandpa.
Say hi to Grandpa.
Hey, Linky. Hey,
Hi,
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
He's on a quest for candy this morning.
Oh my God.
No, you're not gonna get the bag.
Okay, I don't know. I think the bag's gone. So I just wanna, I mean, the amount of value that's in watching that happen over and over is huge, guys. And
The bag's gone.
I did not, I threw it away. So
Why
I'm
didn't
gonna
you
have a little
flip it?
conversation with him, and anybody else who wants to talk right now is probably a good idea.
So you can have a conversation. So, you know, when she talks about the things that Jean gets excited over the years that I've lived with them, I've watched TVs get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you have never, I mean, this is an experience where he's going to buy a TV, and I think it might have only been 50-inch at the time. I'm not sure, but we're getting one for the house in Austin because I too walked that lot and saw the vision from the very beginning. But all of a sudden, he's running around and he's getting, you know, paper. He wants paper from the printer. And he decides that he's got to visually show Susan and measuring it out by putting the sheets of paper lined up, so she could see how big the TV was. And if you think about enthusiasm just to get a TV, and that was 50, I think, I'm going to say 50 inches. Then the lake house gets remodeled. And we're in the lake house. Well, it's no more paper because Jean's vision is this freaking big TV. So what does he do? He goes and he gets, and I have pictures of this. He goes and gets blue painter tape. And he marks out on the walls with blue painter tape. Do you remember doing that? That was the night we slept on the floor because the lake house, we all slept on the floor on a couch because the lake house wasn't finished. But think about passion. Think about, it doesn't matter if it's the yacht or the boat or the pool, which I'm like so excited about. I got a text on Tiles of what was being picked out, and I'm like, yes. But are you even passionate in your life as something day to day is just a TV? You know, something that you want, something that you're like, okay, I'm going to get this. And Ashley, Jean used to pick you up at school. So
I just remember the cars. It's always been the cars for me. In that if Gene wanted a new car, he was going to get a new car. Period. And whatever the newest, latest, greatest, you know, whatever it was. And now Peggy does the same thing. It's like she's got a tear today, so she's gonna go get a new car. And it is just this testimony to whatever you can vision and imagine that you can create that story. And Gene always had the new car because he was not going to be held back, and no one was going to tell him no, regardless if he was broke or waiting on the next closing or whatever it was. He always figured it out. And I think that's the thing that I took from our parents the most, and watching them be agents as kids, was they figured it out. There was no failure. There was no option of not getting it done, not making it happen. It was always, we figure it out together. And I think that's the thing I love the most about Gene and Susan's relationship, is that it's always been together. Right? It was never one over the other or without each other. It was, they figured it out together. And that was something my parents never figured out. So it was one of the only relationships that I got to watch as a child. So it's very, very cool to see how that's exponentially grown, because I think once you start small, it gets a lot easier to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because you're building faith in yourself. Right? It's not just about faith in, God or, whoever your higher being is or whatever, but you have to believe in yourself. And so starting out with something small as a TV seems simple, but it gives you the faith and the foundation to keep going and go, you know what? I figured that thing out and I made that thing happen. So why can't I make this next thing happen? And I think that's where so many people get stuck, is they don't have the faith in themselves and they can't see the vision. And they can't execute without that. And so just starting small, and that's something we talked about in the retreat a lot, with Stephanie and Eric is, you know, making those daily habits and picking something really small, really basic to do over and over again to retrain your brain to, you know, get into that habit. And that's the hardest thing I struggle with is the habits, because nothing about my life is the same thing, you know, any 2 days in a row. So building that faith in yourself to know that no matter what it is, big or small, you can make it happen. You can manifest it. You can achieve and create whatever story you want out of life, and that you are never done, right? Until you take your last breath, there's always another chapter for you to write. There's always something else for you to accomplish and make of yourself that maybe you've never done before. And for Gene to be able to, you know, still be golfing and to be in the best shape of his life and, you know, best scores, like that's incredible. Right. And thank God for Puerto Rico, because, you know, it's a lot easier to do stuff there than it is in other climates. So anyway, that's what yeah.
Hey, let me add something to that. Let me give you some context. And I know you guys have had all the, you're a group. You're a culture. I love how this has grown. Here was a point that helped me. And I didn't do it, guys, until I was 30, 31 years old. It was the first time in my life when I was 30 or 31. Before that, I was in the corporate world. The corporate world, you just kind of go to work, you go home. Maybe that's what you guys do now. But when I was 30 or 31, I made a goal to sell 50 homes in a year. This is January 1986. And I wrote a game plan on how I was going to do that. Now, here's the key. I wrote it down. I made goals. I took the yearly goal of 50 down to what I had to do monthly, what I had to do weekly, what I had to do daily. And it's actually, it was the first time in my life I wrote stuff down. I committed to it. Okay, I better set open houses on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was good at open houses. So, and I really just wrote my game plan out. Well, guess what? What's your game plan for the next 6 months? Are you writing it out? Now, here's the other key that I found out. I'm telling you this story because I made a goal to sell 50 homes my second year in real estate. I sold 56. It had never been done at our company. The next year I sold 110 to 120. In 3 years, I go from selling nothing to 110, 120. It's because I wrote it down, and here's the other key. I tracked it. So let me tell you another story. I was listening to a nutritionist. I don't know about you guys, but raise your hand if you're in the best shape of your life. I am. You know, if you can't raise your hand, you go, gosh darn it, maybe I'm eating the wrong crap. So you go to the internet and look up what you should be eating. One day eggs are good, one day eggs are bad. One day coffee's good, one day coffee's bad. Hell, I don't know what's going on. The bottom line is, besides Nicole, who knows the biology of all this crap, is the fact that you could read everything about it, but here's the key. A nutritionist was on the radio one time, and I remember listening to him here's what you should eat, here's what you shouldn't eat, here's what you do. And then at the end, they said, what's the one thing you want to tell the audience before you leave? The key to health, she says, write down what you eat. That could be scary to all of us. So every day, if you wrote down what you ate, M&Ms, this, you actually wrote down what you eat, that's gonna track your nutrition. You need to do the same thing with your business. Once I started tracking what I did, how I lead generated, what I did every day is when I was 31 years old, it changed my life. They had me do a speech the next year after I sold 50 some homes. I was #1 for that company, Women's Council Realtors. I'll never forget it. It was my first speech I ever gave in front of people. They said, well, we want you to talk. I said, well, guess what I talked about? Writing my goals out for the first time and tracking them. I said, that's the secret to success. And they probably looked at me like, well, there's got to be more than that. And I went, I don't know. It's the first time I really succeeded at a high level. When I came to EXP 9 years ago, guess what I did? I wrote down what I was going to do. 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock. You guys have heard me say this. 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday. I took off on the weekends. I'm going to have 3 interviews a day. Are you guys having 3 listings a day? Are you got meeting with 2 buyers a day? Whatever your goals are, whatever you're written stuff out, you should be able to show it to me when you come to Dallas for the Dallas event that Nicole is setting up. If you guys come to the Dallas one, it'd be phenomenal to see it build. I want you to take out of your pocket or your purse or wherever you keep your papers and go, Gene, here's my goals for the next 6 months. Here's what I'm going to do. Here, I can't wait to share it with you because I'm going to track it. I'm going to track what I do because if this isn't working, stop it, go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys show me that? I can show you my blue book from EXP that I have kept track of everything the first 3 years I was here. Everything I did. It's the key to success. It's the key to, Ashley, it's the key to creating good habits. The key to good habit is tracking what you do. It's what we don't want to do because we don't want to track ourselves. There you go.
And Ashley, you need to add on to that because you are amazing at what you do, but I know if it is not in your calendar, even if it's me or you talk about your calendar, you don't, that's important.
It's the only, like, not the only, but it's one of the biggest habits I had to create because I couldn't, and it started after COVID with Zooms because I've worked from home for 14 years. I've been remote for 14 years, long before COVID. And I just would, jump from this call, jump from that call. I would remote into this computer, remote into that computer. Oh, give me half an hour. I'll call you back, that kind of thing. And then when Zoom happened, it was like, oh shit, I have to be on camera. Like I have to be somewhere. It might as well have been an actual physical meeting, and being in person. And so I'm my mother's daughter. I'm habitually 5 minutes late to everything. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I should actually use this Google Calendar thing and be 100% committed to, I'm going to be there on time every time and know exactly where I need to be next. And I wake up every day and I look at the calendar, or I go to bed and I look at the calendar for the next day. And I know, okay, here's how I'm going to spend my time prepping for this meeting or following up after and time blocking the extra time afterwards, because I know I need to do something after that call. And if I don't do it immediately after, I'll forget what it is I'm supposed to do. And so that Peggy still, I don't know. She texted me the other day. I'm telling the story. She's like, how do I text a calendar invite? You don't.
Gene asked me how to do. He said, you better send me a calendar invite.
Yeah, but you email it. Like you can't text it. It has to be emailed. I was like, oh, you're so pretty. Anyway.
Ashley, those are habits that you have.
I know. And that's
you
one
don't
of them.
have habits.
It's one of the only few that I do have. And is that I am 100%. And it doesn't matter how big or small. It could be 5 minutes. If it's going to take me 5 minutes to get something done, I book it in my calendar because otherwise it will not happen. I absolutely will forget, get overwhelmed. I will get interrupted 100 times and it will not happen. And I don't know how to live anymore without that because it dictates everything. And it helps me so much. And from a productivity standpoint, because it's the commitment, right? For me, it's the writing it down. And if it's on my calendar, it is 100% going to happen. If it's not on my calendar, it's never going to happen. So that's one of the few habits I have built is 100% accountability to a calendar. And if you don't know how to use Google Calendar, go watch a YouTube video, please, because it is baffling to me how many salespeople, love y'all, that I will say, send me a calendar invite. And they'll send me an email with all of the Zoom meeting information and the time and everything. And I'm like, that is not a calendar invite, okay? Like that does not block out the time on my calendar and tell me where I need to go. That means I have to go read the email and remember that the email's there in the first place. So I 100% recommend figuring out how to live and die by a calendar because it will change your life 100%.
So this is like perfectly teed up a conversation
You're welcome.
that we had. Do you remember this conversation, Ashley, chatting about?
Yeah.
So somebody I know is doing 75 hard right now. And I'm thinking, 75 hard, that's, what is it? Just a weight loss thing, health thing, whatever. No, it's mental toughness is what the whole outcome of this thing is. So I texted Ashley or chatted with Ashley and I said, we should do like a 75 hard or something like that for realtors. to get into that habit building and tracking and accountability. So Peggy and I were talking about it last night. And so anyway, that's just an idea that's formulating.
Yes.
That it sounds like there may be more than one of us that don't even know where their calendar is. I mean, I know, okay, legit, I really know where it is. It's in the floorboard of my car. But honestly, you know, I feel like the time might be right for a few people to, you know, reach out for accountability. And Peggy and Ashley, you know, we can come up with something.
We want
But-
to.
Yeah. So
And Jean, you were in that discussion because we were like, incentives are great.
oh yes.
Incentives are great. And what we thought was our top person, and we don't know how we're going to determine this, but wouldn't it be cool if they were able to sit down with Eugene and show you their goals, what they've accomplished, and had a coaching session with you?
Look at Dee Dee. I just love
Look
her.
at you.
Did you notice I haven't answered yet? No, I'm just kidding. That's not in my calendar, but I'll check it.
But we can send an invite.
But we'll send you an invite. See, my biggest fear with the invite was it was going email, and Kathy's on this call. I know Gene does not read emails. So when he said, send me a calendar invite, I know we only text. So I said, I'm trying to figure out, well, if he's never going to read his email, there's got to be a way to text this invite to him. So,
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing I will mention on that. We've gotten so techie. We've gotten so techie in this age. And my son's a tech head. My son's actually a tech and a realtor. You know, he'll tell me something so fast. And since I didn't grow up in that age, and Nicole will too, or whatever, hey, just go do this. And I go, you just said words I don't understand. So, so I think for us realtors, my wife, Susan, has gone back to paper. She's actually gone back to paper. And when I say that, I think it really helps too, because when you do write something down in your calendar, the date, the old day timers, you know, she writes down, here's when we're taking that trip. Here's the flight information. It's all there. She can now flip through that really quick. The only reason I say that, there's something in your mind happens when you write stuff down. There really is. There's something chemistry. I'm sure if we went out, some psychologists, they would say, hey, if you write it down, I don't know about the Lord, but the Lord did the 10 commandments in stone. Okay, boom, write it down. He didn't Google it to somebody or just say, check your text. And let me tell you about stories, and I won't get super religious to you this time, but 500 people are proclaimed to literally see Christ after death. Christ risen, over 500 people. They can't all have the same hallucination. Actually, it's humanly impossible for 500 people to have the same hallucination. You know that? But what I'm saying, that's a story, right? That's a story, actually, I believe. Why? Because 500 people had that story. Our whole life is stories. It's just a story. You either believe it or you don't believe it. Quite honestly, I believe it, right? So you know, when I say that, it's really funny how people. The whole Bible is just a thing of stories. What stories are you going to believe? What stories are you going to make? I really believe we all could be unbelievably successful. We put our own limits on ourselves. I really firmly believe it. We went, well, I sold 2 homes last month. If I go to 4 next month, that'll be too much. Oh, if I go to 5, I'll be overwhelmed. For some reason, you guys look at unbelievable success as being hard, time consuming, too much, so you don't do it. I've read up on this. Really weird. I don't know what happens. It's psychological. Whereas realistically, if you go, you know what? I want to go to outer space. It's going to cost me $250,000 to get on that ship with what's his name. I'm going to save $250,000. I'm going to fly. I'm going to be on there. I'm going to put my name on the list. I can't get on for 2 years to go up in a ship. And that's your vision. You will save the 250. You will save 250. There's no doubt in my mind it will happen. So B is, I would say this, and I agree with all you guys on doing something very small to change something. Think big, act small. Think big, act small. In other words, make big dreams and then change a little bit every day.
You know, Jean,
So-
that's so huge that you're saying that, because what just hit me was, you know, we're celebrating 2 years of this Zoom. And do the math on that. Basically, we're here every single week, except I think Christmas, New Year's, and 4th of July. And how many stories? That's over 100 Zooms with so many stories, so many lessons that we have come together as a community, so many speakers that we have had on, so many different people that have changed people's lives here. And I believe that that is what keeps everybody coming back to this, is that we take away a little bit from everybody's story. And yes, you have the vision of a yacht and you were able to do that. And now I know you're going to outer space. When you just said that, there's no doubt in my mind that you are going to outer space. But it started with a TV. And I don't want people to get overwhelmed. If people take away anything from today, it could be as small as, well, I think 50-inch TVs are gone. What's the biggest TV now? 85 or something, whatever. But it could be a TV. It could be just getting that new car, or just maybe being able to take your kids to Disney and planning it. I don't want people to get so overwhelmed, but what we're saying here is there's a story, and you put that story out there and you write your story. We can do anything. And think about all the people that come together every Wednesday morning, and how you can lean on each other, and the friendships. And when you get down and you think your story and no one in your family is believing it, because I don't know about you, people in my family said I was crazy. What's that thing, Jean, will you say that for us? First they call you this, then they call you that. That's important if everybody could write that down, because that's part of writing your story.
I call it CLCA. CLCA. First, they call you crazy when you go out and do something. Then when it starts to be somewhat successful, they call you lucky. Then when you're living in Puerto Rico with a yacht, they call you a crook. It's crazy, lucky, crook. In other words, you had to have done something bizarre to get that. Don't you love it when you see people with yachts and stuff? What's the first question you ask? What do they do for a living? Isn't it weird? We all say the same thing. What's that person do? Right? As if that really matters, but I think they were pretty successful at something. So CLCA, crazy, lucky, crook, and I added the A because now I am in the stage where people call me and ask for advice.
That's so true.
Crazy, lucky, crook, advice. And now I've got brokers from other companies calling me. How'd you do that virtual thing? What's that going on? How do you guys do revenue share? That doesn't make sense. You've given half your money away. That can't work. And how's it work? Are you guys and I get these calls, and it's kind of awesome to reconnect with Samia and other brokers that, we've been through the trenches and understand that there's a new model. But anyway, that's my life. So it's kind of fun. It's fun
really
living
fun.
through that.
There's a lot of great people on here. Dee, Jean, have you met Jean before personally? Because
I haven't had the blessing and the luck to meet Jean yet. I've only heard him speak. And every time I do hear it, I'm sorry, I'm trying to clear my voice here after a cold. Every time I hear Jean, it's been amazing in a mind-blowing game-changing day, because then my day ahead is awesome. So thank you, Jean. Thank you, Nicole, Ashley, Peggy. This here is a mind-blowing meeting. Happy birthday to Wake Up Wednesday. I've been so fortunate to be invited here. I am so grateful for Tanya to lead me to you guys, and for Peggy to bring on so many special guests and wonderful people on this call, because I've learned so much. And today, Jean, I'm writing my new story, because yesterday Tanya gave me a challenge and it's been so tough, and my due date is today, and I made it. And it's to, believe it or not, I'm a newbie, so just writing up mock contracts were so hard for me because I'm more of a talk, chatty person where I socialize and I love to meet people and bring them in. But when it comes down to learning something so what I thought was really complicated turned out to be so easy. I'm like, this was easier than what I was overthinking it. So the challenge was wonderful. It opened my eyes to something that I can do very well. And so I'm writing my new story starting today. So thank you. And I'm sorry, I have a little cold. Jean, bless you and bless everybody here. Nicole, Little Lincoln, everybody. It was really a pleasure. It's been a pleasure being here. I'm only here not even a year and a half. So
Mhm.
I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you. And go Puerto Rico. Yay. I
She
love
loves
it.
it. You know, we've got
Yes.
some, and thank you, Dee Dee. I mean, you were brand new when you started hopping on this, and you brought excitement and so much to this. I mean, I'm looking at the people here, and everybody has had a story. Every single person has had a conversation with me or something in an interaction. I think Flying Phil is on the call, right? Phil's here. Where are you, Phil?
Yo,
Yo, tell
yo,
us about
Mr. White.
tell us your story because you're writing a story and where you came from. And did you think you'd be moving to where you're moving and the life that you're building? What do you want to say to everyone? And yes, I am going to have you on as a speaker, so you will have a whole hour soon.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a pretty long story, Peggy, but in a nutshell, surround yourself with people that are living a big, hairy, audacious, crazy life, right? And just be so wary of people. And you know what? People that love you aren't going to give you good advice. Remember that. Okay. And that's a crazy thing that I've been kind of dealing with family and stuff, is that the people that love you, be careful. They love you, but they aren't necessarily going to give you the right advice when it comes to business or your path to self-actualization, right? So just be very, very mindful to surround yourself with people that are crazy and playing the game at the highest level, and not people that have limiting beliefs. If there's one thing that, has been truly changing in my life, is surrounding myself with people that are doing the craziest stuff. And so, like, look at Gene, right? He wanted to buy, I remember when he said he wanted to buy the boat, and I remember, yeah, like I just, the whole thing, the manifestation of it and all that, right? And so in order to be terrific, folks, we must be very specific. Remember that. Very specific.
Like
So
that.
yeah, I'll be speaking at Build in my goodness, in Dallas next month. So look forward to seeing you all there for sure. And I'll be sharing my story there as well in detail.
Good. Thank you for being on the call today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, Nicole. So your story,
My
if
story.
yeah, give him some more candy so you can talk a little bit.
No, he's gone. He's off to
Oh, he's-
football camp.
he's off to
He got the fuel he needs to go.
Oh,
run around
cool.
Full flags.
So, I mean, think about this. You are a powerhouse woman. You have been influential in my life. You and Ashley, best friends. Ashley was in your wedding. I mean, I just have admired you with,
Oh.
you are your mother's daughter. But think about the story when you were running these amazing tanning salons, and all of a sudden the path and the story that you were on got disrupted or derailed or whatever, because Gene had an idea that he was going to go to this company. And just because, you're in the family, you weren't handed everything. You had to work and talk about that, because, we can't be handed everything.
No, we can't be. And I guess I think I got to give the glory to God on this one. I was just blessed with an attitude of self-esteem comes from hard work, right? And I know that. Could I probably get by in the family that God blessed me with without doing too much? Maybe so, but at the end of the day, I want to be my best self. And so, but I knew if I could follow that, if I could follow Gene, if he told me what to do, I knew. And he told me from a younger age, tanning salon gig was great for that time in my life, but it had a ceiling on it. And he said, if you worked half as hard as you did with those salons, if you do with those salons in real estate, you're going to kill it. But it was always that, well, how do I give up a decently paying job to go. And by the way, I was high up in the tanning salons. It wasn't like I was just working a tanning salon. So it was decent, but it was one of those things where, number one, I knew I wasn't going to do that for the rest of my life. It was a lot of hustle and bustle with people that I was hiring, 18 to 25-year-olds. And I knew I wanted to play with adults one day. And I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, because I know that that's, you're not building somebody else's dream at that point, right? I was building another person's dream. And so, but he said that to me, and then, the rest is I grinded. I didn't have a bunch, even though I come from Jean and my mom, I did not have a bunch of influence in the industry. And this can be done if you're looking at whatever you're doing in life, agent attraction, getting lead generating buyers and sellers, you name it. It doesn't have to be real estate related. I just always thought, you know what, I'm not the smartest. I might not have the biggest influence, but I'm willing to work. I'm willing to work. So my thing is if somebody shows me the roadmap, I can grind and do it. And with that attitude, for me, it's just like everything you want in life is on the other side of the uncomfortable grind. And so that's kind of been just my focus. And then I've just been blessed to have good results on the other side of that. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Talk about though that phone call that changed your life to Allison, and how you felt about making that phone call. Because a lot of us have resistance, and there's those people out there, we've already made the story up in our head, they're not going to take our phone call. And this was life-changing.
Yeah, and this kind of falls in the vein of writing your own story. You have to get out of your own way. At the end of the day, and I try to tell my kids this all the time, you can't be afraid. You have to get over the fear of the unknown. You have to get over the fear of the unknown. That shot that you're about to go get at the doctor, I guarantee you're thinking it's 50 times worse than it's about to be. And sure enough, they're proved wrong. Like they proved their mentality wrong every single time. But we all have those limiting beliefs. I had them. I'm not immune to them. I had them. Well, who am I to do this? Who am I to be doing this? Well, why is somebody going to follow me? Why is somebody going to jump on board? But then you make it, I've always just gamified it. Like, how can I prove that little voice wrong? The only way to prove that story wrong is to through action, prove it wrong, And at the end of the day, I've just always been like, you know what? I'm not going to die. I can make a phone call. I'm not going to die from whatever happens in this phone conversation. It might be uncomfortable, but you get to kind of like the uncomfortable because it teaches you how to do better on the next one, So, that phone call in the beginning, I really didn't know how else to do it except for making a bunch of phone calls to people I didn't know. Because I didn't know a bunch of people. I didn't know a bunch of agents. I started with the small group that I knew. Once I got done with those, I had to go to the people that I didn't know. And so that's what I did. And it was just, I don't even know what honestly, you can ask Allison too. I don't know what I said. I just was calling people because it didn't really matter what I said. Rob Flick says it all the time. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So you just pick up the phone and start calling, and your conversations will improve from there. And that's true in agent or buyer and seller prospecting as well. Right. So, and you are one, especially with RevShare 2.0. If we're looking at RevShare, guys, you are one phone call away from changing your life forever. One phone call. You don't know when that phone call is going to be or who it's going to be. But with RevShare 2.0, it's one phone call, because all you really need, now what? The first 3 levels are automatically paid, right? So you don't have to have five phone calls to unlock level 2 that are productive phone calls. You really only need one, and that person could run with you and change your life. Because if you're going to build EXP at a high level, just like Gene was talking about with when he found Scott and Rob and all of them, where people would work hard with them. If you're going to build EXP at a high level, it can't just be you. You're not building your organization alone, And so now a bunch of people, actually several people on this call, Chris Stagg, John Morrison, Janet Scott, Samia. Well, these people are in my group. Not all of them are under Allison and Dawn, but a lot of you guys are. And if I didn't have Allison and Dawn there, I wouldn't be in great partnership with people that are running like y'all. And all of you guys are building as well. So it's and if there's somebody on here that's in my group that I didn't just shout out, I'm very sorry. I don't see your face. But
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about rev share and attraction is that you're doing it by yourself. And what most people don't realize is that EXP is giving every single person, every single agent the opportunity to open their own brokerage, basically, right? Because your rev share organization is your own brokerage. And so you would never go open or start a brokerage by yourself. You would have a business partner who they're good at this part and they're, somebody else whose strength is over here. And yet all these people are trying to attract by themselves and do it alone as if it's just this little side hustle. It is a business. It is a separate business, and you have to treat it that way, or it's never going to be a sustainable business for you. It will always just be the happenstance and byproduct of your production. And so I think that's where, Nicole and Jean and Dawn and Allison, they have treated it like a business, and they've done it together with people, with partners. And that's what gets them, so much further faster, is that you're doing it together. And you didn't have to go spend $50,000 or $250,000 to open that brokerage. You didn't need the physical space. You didn't have to buy a brand name. You have the opportunity to do that for free at any moment. You just have to start writing the plan and writing the story and executing, and it will happen, period.
But it was too. I mean, going back to what we were talking about earlier, back in those days for me, I would get with Jean every once or twice a week, and we'd look at all our names on a list. We'd look, how's that person going? Was it it was old school. We didn't CRM it was like, let's write it down on this piece of paper and carry that piece of paper in our notebook around with us. That's what I did because Jean told me to.
Right.
So I know we have a couple minutes. Can I just talk about build real quick? Because it all goes back to what you're building, right? Whether whatever you're building, whether that happens to be the things in life that you're trying to manifest, whether it happens to be EXP, we're all building something. Hopefully you all are, because you're on this call. So I know you are. You're all building something. You're building community. Peggy's built this community. And so you're building your real estate business, whatever that is, you want to come to a build near you. There's several across the nation. We'd love to see you in Dallas because Jean's emceeing it. And we're really focused with this event on not just the rev share conversation. We've got speakers coming in talking about all kinds of things that they're working on building inside their real estate business. So we've made it super affordable. I put the link in the chat earlier up there. Phil Hahn is speaking, by the way, at the Dallas build. So come see him. And you can get your ticket as cheap as $99 for general session, which is unheard of. If you've ever been to one of Brent's build events, you don't get it as cheap as $99. So you guys come on down. If anybody on this call wants to come into town, I'll get you a link for the room block. Just send Peggy a message. And we'd love to see you there. That's July 25th and 26th. Okay.
And if you want to come to my baby shower, my baby shower is the next day on the 27th.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, right.
Wonder why we're doing that. So I am coming in to do builds with Nicole and work it and help her and support her on that. And it'd be great to see you guys and have everybody there. It's important. These are the events. Gary and Gina, just real quick, if you were not at Build, we would never have this relationship. But we're going to go back to really quickly. I challenge every one of you, whether it's in an elevator or you're walking down the street or standing someone in line. If I had not gotten in that elevator with Gary and Gina, if I had just looked down instead of saying hello, I never would have the friendship and the support, and we would not have, you guys would not be on this call. So just open your mouth and say hi. We're realtors. We love to talk. Jean talks to everyone. Sometimes I've seen Ashley never even go into a session. She sits out in the hallways, and the best conversations are made outside the rooms too.
I don't even buy a ticket sometimes. I just show up and stand in the hallway.
I
And
wasn't gonna
I
tell
always
you.
walk away with business. I mean, don't do that for this one
Yeah,
because
I
it's so
told him.
cheap.
Yeah.
But in
You
general,
can start.
it's just being
Go ahead.
there and seeing the people.
I've
and-
got to run. I've got to
Yeah.
run, guys. Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm going to run because they're cutting down the tree in my backyard. See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you guys.
So you guys,
Thank
thank
you,
you
Jean.
so much. Appreciate all of you. We'll see you next week. I will be back in California, so I'll be getting up at 6 in the morning. And just thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all the support and love that not only you give me, but you give everybody else on this call. This has been life-changing. Thank you.
Thank you for your community, Peggy.
Bye,
Yes,
guys.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye,
Peggy.
y'all.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
Happy
Bye.
birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
2 years. Wow. Ashley,
Happy
could never have
birthday.
done this without you. I mean that, Ash, from the bottom of my heart. I could never.
I know that's true because I don't think you've done anything for 2 years consistently.
That's amazing.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Is that going to be on the bloopers? I've never done this. This is true though. Seriously. I mean, I've done a lot of things in my life. I've run market centers. I've opened up market centers all around the country, but this has become a passion. And this girl saved my life. This girl flew in when I had that brain tumor, and
Wow.
she stayed and she slept on a crappy little sofa in a hospital room. She took away my phone, but she knew that I was going to do this. And I just was so committed. Nothing was going to stop me. And I'm just so grateful to everyone. And Ashley, I love you so much, just like my daughter. And I can't wait for our baby.
Oh my gosh. Lots to celebrate, right? This year's going to be crazy. It's going to be
It's
awesome.
gonna be great. And Dee Dee, you got to come to, and Stacy's on here too, and anybody else, guys included, you got to come to the retreat. We're doing a retreat next year.
Yes.
We're just firming up the dates, and we're even going to put it on a payment plan so
It's
everybody
going to
can
be
get there.
in May, right? In May? 'Cause that's
I
what
think so. I
yeah.
just got to confirm the dates, and we're going to have a pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect
Jean-
timing for me to go.
All right, you guys, thank you so much.
Bye, y'all.
Peggy, wonderful. Ashley, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I got to
you.
thank
birthday.
Sarah and Katie for hosting me here at their house. So
Yeah, you're taking a risk. She may not go. Just so you know. Every time. It's a crapshoot.
bye, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.